How often should home, garden and lifestyle brands be posting organic content?
Let's tea talk about that.
Right, welcome back, Darren. Back in the Tea Talk set.
Yes.
It's been a minute.
It has.
You well?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, really good. I will say, we always say it's been a minute. And I think for those who aren't sure why we keep saying that, ever since the team has grown, and
well,
we've
our
got more
schedule's
and more
gone
people,
up in the air now.
There's been a couple of tea talks where neither one of us has been on set.
Very odd. I keep watching them back, and then I'm like, I don't remember. I'm like, I wasn't part of that one. I see the title. I'm like, oh, okay, that one's interesting.
But every once in a while, we like to come back together for
we
an
do.
OG episode.
It's a reunion piece. This one, but it is good. And it's true because it has thrown our schedule out. But today we are talking about how often home, garden, lifestyle, because that's what we know, brands should be posting organic content. She'll give the quick answer and then go into the full answer.
As much as they possibly can.
There you go.
As much as you are able to, as long as it's consistent.
There you go. Consistency is the key word there.
It is.
Yes, and I would echo that sentiment, although I'm going to challenge you on a few bits there. So that's the quick answer, if you need to sort of watch the first minute and then chip off. But of course you don't. You want to stick around for the full 10, 15 minutes.
Why is it
Why
that
would
much?
you want to leave before we've got into the details? Come on then. So what are your thoughts? What are your initial thoughts?
So I think it's so important because I think a lot of brands, especially when they have services like the service that we provide in paid ads, they often go down that route of, well, I don't need to post organic because the paid ads are doing that for me. The ads will do that. And that's just not the case because we've seen it time and time again that, and as we do on this show, we talk about things that are very relevant to us. And we've seen it in a number of our clients where when they are absolutely on the ball in terms of their organic content, you see a direct correlation between an uplift in the ads.
Everything works better.
But
so if you are, there will be brands watching this that thinking, but I'm spending money on ads. That's where my marketing budget's going. Surely that's enough. Surely that's enough. So can you not just run ads?
I think this is going to be a classic answer. It depends. And I think there's going to be outliers in everywhere here. Yeah. But I think consistency, as we've said, is key. And I think if you want that consistent growth, then I think there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing organic content because at the end of the day, it doesn't take that much effort if you know how to do it right. Yeah,
and I'm asking the question in a kind of rhetorical way because I know the answer. But I think one of the things that we say a lot, and I say a lot, and I know I hear the guys say a lot, is if you're a small business and you're or a brand, if you're a business that is running ads and if you rely on your ads to do the talking for you, to sell the product, to showcase who you are, what you do, all of that stuff, to get across your product, your business, I think for the most part, there are going to be some outliers, but I think that alone, your ads can work well. They'll be good.
Yes.
They'll be good. Your ads will work well.
Absolutely.
And we've got some clients where their ads are working incredibly well, and then others where they're like, they're good. They play a key role in their business. It works, right? But I think when you combine your ads along with your organic posts, alongside everything else, the stuff outside of the context of this tea talk, but the other, email and all those other things. But when you combine paid ads with organic posting, what we typically see is great performance. So it depends whether you want good performance or great performance. Now, that doesn't mean if you don't do the organic posting, you'll never get great performance because we've got some clients that are just massively, depends on your product, your service, but we've got some where they are very reliant on ads and they don't prioritize their organic because they say, we know it's the ads that work and we just want to double down on that. We're trying to encourage them to say, look, if you do more organic, you are going to get even better performance, even though you are loving it, right now. But on the flip side, we've got a lot of clients that really understand that. Some pre-us, they came on board and we've gone, great, we can take this and take it forward. Others, they've worked with us and we've said, look, if you actually do more of this, you're seeing what we're creating, you're seeing how we're portraying this, do more of that organically, and you will get more from your ads.
That's it.
And I think logic dictates that would make sense because you are, you're not just solely reliant on the ads. You're going to engage people with different types of content, and I think that's the secret sauce, isn't it? When you combine the organic stuff and you take learnings, because what Matt talks about regularly, who's our head of paid social, what he does is you can take so many little nuggets and learnings from the ads into the organic side, but then vice versa. There's so much from the organic side into the ads.
It leads me on to another point, which I'm going to get to in a moment after something else, but is that we do a number of things to make sure that our clients can post organically as easy as possible. But before we get to that, I just want to, I'm going to flip it back around on you.
Go on.
I'm going to give you a couple of sticking points.
Okay.
That maybe people watching, they're going, well, I can't do organic because. And I'm going to just
Which is something we hear quite a lot. We do, and we then have to sort of.
So let's just go through them.
Go on.
And I'm just going to reel them off the top of my head. I can't do organic because I don't have the time.
Okay. Find the time. would basically be my answer. Is find time. I think
I know the reason why we say that is because it doesn't take as long as you think.
No.
Because yes, if you're muddling through it and you don't have a plan and you haven't thought it through, it might feel like you're wasting lots of time and not getting anything back. But actually, if you plan it, if you batch it, if you film a bunch of stuff in advance and then you schedule it over a long period of time, if you just give yourself one day, I mean, for example, with the way that we do Tea Talks now, which is our organic content, because we now have a number of players in the game, we film roughly once a month.
And that's true of all of our content. We're putting out so much content consistently across our different formats. I would say it's taking less and less and less of everyone's time. One, because we're spreading it out a little bit, but we've got very, very good at batching it and then repurpose it. This Tea Talk will be one episode across, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, our website, our blog, all of that, TikTok. But then you'll have a trailer for it. You'll have a clip for it as well. So suddenly you've got all of these different pieces of content. Then we'll repurpose it every few weeks to sort of give it fresh legs to push it on. But I think, to expand on your point, one of the reasons I think people, the businesses we work with and speak to, they're organic. It becomes, it's a bit of, it's an afterthought. But actually, as you say, if you schedule, if you think about it and you plan it ahead, and then if you get into the habit of it becoming, there being repetition. So do you know what? On a Monday, we're going to post something like this.
It has to be a part of your week.
Literally that, Otherwise, it's never going to work. And that's what, we've had it before where, we do the ads because we know they work, but the organic, we try that, it never really works. It's because you don't stick at it. It's because you're not consistent. It's because you're not thinking, well, actually, we are going to make a point of doing this. You don't want to be regimented, but you need some consistency and some, if particularly if you're wanting to get the teams buying, if you're wanting to sort of go, do you know what? Every midweek on a Wednesday, we're going to put this out. On the end of the week, we're going to do this. And the beginning of the week, we're going to do that. You only need to do, a few bits with some consistency, and then it becomes part of what you're posting. We know, for example, every Tuesday what we post, every Wednesday what we post, every Thursday what we post, and it's all organic.
Before we go any further, if you're enjoying today's Tea Talk, you'll love our Grow with Evergreen podcast. Specifically created for home, garden, and lifestyle brands, it's a podcast dedicated to discussing paid media and marketing. Every episode, we're joined by a brand that wants to grow online. We delve into their business, dissect what they're doing, and define a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. And best of all, you get to listen or watch along, then take those learnings into your own business. Make sure you check it out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But for now, let's get back to today's Tea Talk.
And I think going back to what you were saying about getting the team involved, I think that's another sticking point for a lot of people. Because I think, and I think I really want to talk about this point because I think it's so important that some people think, oh, my team don't want to be on camera. And I think there's a big misconception about if you're posting content and you're on camera, you've got to act like a lot of these YouTubers. And that's a bit cringy. It's a bit embarrassing. I don't really want to portray myself like that. I don't want to have to put on a big show. But actually, you don't really have to, because I think a lot of the time with content, particularly with video content, it's about just showcasing the people behind the brand.
People behind the people,
If you are selling to a target audience which is similar to that of your team, then you automatically resonate with that audience just by being yourself. You don't have to put on a show, you just have to show.
And I think the other thing, there's so much in this to unpack, isn't it, in terms of just, it's the what, the why, the where, and how. But with posting, another thing I'm just thinking of, I know there'll be people watching this thinking, it all sounds good, but what would I post? What would I talk about? But And I think there's, that's going to be different for every person. But what we would come back to time and time again is, well, what's the reason you're in business? What are you an expert at?
Yeah.
What is your passion? What is the reason you're in business? You run the business, you started the business, you're involved in this business. What is it that you want to be famous for? And it's, some of the businesses are locally tied. This is what we do and this is where we do it.
Yeah.
Others, it's more, this is what we create, this is what we sell, what we make, what we do, and it's for people like you. So it's the what and where, or the what and who.
Yeah.
And if you double down on that, it becomes, and you do that with consistency, then the next question is, well, what medium? Is it video? Is it image? And I think the answer is just...
Get creative.
Get creative. It's just, it's mix it up. It's try different things, isn't it? But I think that's where people get stuck is, one, it's the, it's an afterthought, what we're going to do, and you never get round to it. But how many, I'm just thinking of the conversation we've had recently with client visits and so on. There's been so many occasions where we've gone to clients and what they are an expert at, they don't think, I've done this for my entire career.
So this is the question is, what makes the worst type of English teacher?
Yeah.
An English graduate.
Yeah.
Because they know far too much about it that they skip over all the little things that everyone else finds fascinating.
Exactly that.
And it's what we have literally said to some of our clients in the last couple of weeks.
We really have.
You might find this thing particularly mundane
to you, you
and
don't
normal, and it's an everyday thing. But to everybody else
it's
who has a
fascinating.
slight interest in this, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. And it, as you say, the thing of the ads, and this is what people, the ads are so important for so many, but obviously it's what we do, but there's so important for so many businesses. And what ads are amazing at is capturing people's attention, right? You can get your ad, whether it's search or social, in front of someone when they're looking for your product or service. Amazing. If they then go, oh, that's interesting. Oh, you've piqued my interest. Now I go and have a quick look, and then I go onto your socials, or I do a bit of research into you as a company, your products, whatever. And then I go and I can't help but see your organic stuff. And then I'm seeing the behind the scenes. I'm seeing the day in the life. I'm seeing the little walkthroughs. I'm seeing the face to camera. I'm seeing the selfies. I'm seeing the pictures. I'm seeing the products just arriving in the warehouse. All of that stuff. To you, it's just, well, that's the standard. That's just a typical day. But to anyone else, it's utterly fascinating.
It's a story.
Yeah, and it helps humanize who you are. It reinforces, I'm buying that product that's sat there, or I'm going here to that
real
showroom.
People.
It's all of that. I'm going to meet that person if I go there and meet. And all of those things, whether it's the product, it's the showroom, it's the warehouse, it's the store, it's the person, it's the team member, all of those things, you can get some of that across the ads, but organically, you can just post all of that, and it just helps to capture that person, whatever point of the buying cycle they're at, in terms of where their mind's at. And we're seeing that across so many different types of clients of varying sizes, all within the home garden lifestyle space. But and we're just seeing that across the board. And that's why we just wanted to record this TikTok and get the point across that when you combine all of the ads are so powerful, yes, but when you combine that with the organic stuff, it just takes things to another level.
It does.
It really does. And I can't think of, I'm trying to think, I can't think of a single client that is really focusing on doing it. And some of them have only started doing it since we've said to them, look, we'll do all of this. This is beautiful, but don't rely on this. Actually go and get creative, do this stuff. And some of our clients have been a little bit shy of doing it. Or I don't know, I don't feel comfortable. And we've just said, just try. Don't, what's the phrase? Don't let this pursuit of perfection halt progress. Just get out there. And actually, we've had some feedback. Go, do you know what? I've done it. And actually, this is good. And I'm actually quite enjoying this. And I'm getting into the flow. And it's becoming part of what we do and part of how we operate.
And I think that's one of the biggest selling points of small businesses, which is a lot of the people that we work with. We don't work with big corporates. But one of the beauty of small businesses is that it's usually a small collection of really passionate people about what they do. So why wouldn't you want to showcase that? Because I promise anyone watching that if you do, there will be people out there who want to follow you along on that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And want to get to know you, to ultimately then become a customer, buy the product, buy the service, or it just works. So that is, it's simple, it's straightforward, but that is such a simple concept, and it's something that we are repeatedly saying to our clients, to our prospects, is even part of when we're prospects. Here's a little insight of tip, like little insight into what we do. Whenever we're talking to prospects, which is pretty much what I'm doing every single day. One of the things we're doing is we're reviewing the data, but we're going on the socials. We're going, what are they doing? What are they from a creative standpoint? And we're not looking for really polished stuff, because we're like, we'll bring the creativity, and we'll bring all that, but are they making an effort?
Yeah.
Are they at least putting themselves out there? Are they, because doing that will help them to stand out, you know, whether it's you're a local business or you're e-commerce only, but what are you doing to help yourself? And I think moving away, particularly with, there's lots happening in the wider world right now in terms of the digital space, online, Google's making some big moves.
Yeah.
And I think one of the simplest ways to boil all of that down for if you're and by small business, we're sort of you know, you might be turning 2 or 3 million.
Yeah.
That's a small business,
Yeah.
you know. But if you're a small business and you're trying to think, how do we stand out? You know, then just think, what can you be famous for? And just by getting yourself out there and putting your face on it and just kind of getting over yourself and actually just going, do you know what, I am going to do this. You'll be amazed when you combine all of that into the ads. It can be very, very powerful. So there you go. So I think the key question there, how often should you be posting organic content? As much as possible, and just have some fun with it. Mix it up, try different things, and doing that, if you do the ads well, a pair of them combined works a treat.
Perfect.
There you go. Right, it's been good fun. We're getting back into our flow now. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.
Bye.